All right, welcome to the Penn Sports Podcast. This is Frank Edgar.
This is Wube Gabre.
Got another great show for you this week. Lots of sports still going on. Just finishing up basketball here in Virginia, and we're moving on to baseball, soccer, and some other spring sports. Wube, first of all, let's tell our fans at Penn Sports Pod on Twitter is how you get us, PENSPORTSPOD. And you can follow us and find our shows on YouTube. Search Penn Sports, one word, podcast, the second word, and you'll come up with the episodes on there. We're so glad that people have followed us and follow us on Twitter and on YouTube. So subscribe so you don't miss a show.
It's the 8th episode, Frank. So we're rolling, looking good. We're getting some good responses, and in the early stages, we're just coming into our own, so to speak, and we're having fun.
Well, a lot of people reaching out to us as well, and that's nice. We'd love to hear from the coaches in the area or any community athletic association. We'd love to have you on the show just to make yourself known here on the peninsula. I want to thank Randy Bagoli, who does our production each week, and, of course, our sponsor, Goldstein, Edgar & Regan, who sponsors us with his fine broadcasting facility up on J. Clyde Morris Boulevard. Tell you, Wube, we mentioned basketball last week. We had the finals of the state championships this weekend. Not a lot of champions from the area. The Lake Taylor boys won a state title.
Lake Taylor boys pulled it out, double overtime over Hanley, a team from Winchester. And then the girls of Lake Taylor lost to a team from Winchester. But those PA girls, Frank, in the 5A, in the Class 5 division, 5th straight championship, 10th overall.
If you haven't seen Princess Anne girls play, go ahead and get your tickets now for next fall because they are terrific.
They're great,
to watch and so well coached, and they've 5 straight titles. And then our team here, Surrey High School, got knocked off in the finals by the same team that beat them last year in the finals, Perry McClure. 2 great communities for girls basketball, and Surrey comes up on the short end again this year.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I thought this was going to be the year that they pull it out, but just came up a little short. For what I understand, they have some girls coming back, though, and they hopefully will be back in that same position next year.
Well, and we're wrapping up basketball. We've wrapped up basketball on the high school level. The colleges are still going. I just mentioned to Wube early in the show that James Daniel of Phoebus High grad is playing, as we broadcast, playing for Tennessee against Kentucky in the Southeast Conference Finals.
He's had a pretty good year, according to his dad. I've caught a couple games, just here and there and watched him play, looked at some box scores, but having a pretty good career so far. His only year at Tennessee after playing a few years at Howard, where he led the nation in scoring his junior year. But he's going to be an NCAA participant next week, and, they're playing Kentucky right now as we speak for the SEC championship.
Well, of course, I didn't realize Rick Barnes had ended up down at Tennessee, but great to spend a year with Coach Barnes, who's been all over a couple different places. And so congratulations to James Daniel on a great college career.
Absolutely. And
wish him well as we head into the tournament. Well, now we turn our attention to the spring.
Yeah.
Flowers are coming up, green on the trees, and it's starting to look good outside. And not so much this weekend, but the good weather's coming, and we've got a few sports coming up. We've talked a little bit about track. We moved to the outdoor track facilities. I did want to mention that Jelani Davis won the shot put in a national tournament this weekend.
Yes. Amazing.
A national meet, and what an accomplishment by her. We have really enjoyed her athleticism at Bethel High School.
Just on a great 2-sport athlete. We talked about it before on earlier podcast. She plays basketball for the girls team, Bethel girls team, and now, like you said, a national champion in the shot put. Amazing.
Outstanding for her. But so with track, you add soccer and you add baseball, and we're going to get a lot of those coaches on as we go through. But today we're very fortunate to have join us the head coach over at Kecoughtan High School, Scott Canaday. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, you're heading into your second season there at Kecoughtan High School and the boys soccer program. Tell us a little bit about your program.
Well, like you said, it is my second year. Last year we were 12-4-2, had a successful season. This year we're looking to come in with, about 14, 15 seniors on the team. So got a lot of older guys to work with this year.
Well, now, coming out of last year, did you note some things you needed to work on, and were you able to work on those things in the off season?
Well, the good thing is, typically specifically the reason why I went to Kecoughtan was it has a good legacy as a program. I mean, it's always been a strong program. Frank Hughes, the coach that was there before, I guess he was there 15 years, did a great job. It was a good program to go to. We kind of adjusted the way we played a little bit last year. And then from that, I went to VIP United Soccer Club where 15 of the kids played at. So I worked with them in the fall. And then in the winter, we went and put a winter league team together in the men's division in Hampton so that we could keep focusing on the season and get prepared for this year.
Now, Coach, you've had coaching tenures at Bethel, Peninsula Catholic, and Kecoughtan. What was it about coming back to the Kecoughtan program? What intrigued you about coming back to that program?
I don't know. It could have been back in the late 70s when they used to spank my team when I played for Hampton High School. I don't know. It's just a great program. I mean, it's always been a good legacy of a program. And, it was just a perfect fit for me to go there and work with them, especially, like I said, Frank was the coach there, but I coached Frank back in the early 80s when he was a kid. So it's just a good match to come in there.
I was just going to mention your predecessor, Coach Frank Hughes. What did he mean to the program, and what did he mean? What did it mean for you to come back and coach after he's gone on to Hampton University?
He meant a lot to the program. Like I said, with it being such a great program and having such a great list of coaches going through there to help that program continually be successful over the years, and then to go back. I mean, it was just hilarious. We were talking about, his coach now coaching the team that he coached, and we were just joking. We talk about that all the time.
Well, it's good. You're going into your second season here. What are you seeing out of your competition, both on the Peninsula District and then outside of the Peninsula District?
Well, last year we had a heartbreaker in the regional quarterfinals. We were up 2-0 and ended up losing 3-2 in overtime. So really, I mean, I've been spending more time just focusing on our boys getting ready and being mentally prepared to play, every game like it's the regional quarterfinals, because our goal has been since I got there. I mean, we're just trying to get a state championship.
What's it going to take to get that state championship this year?
I think for us right now, just having the right mental attitude, being mentally prepared to go out and work hard, every practice, every game, and just constantly put the work in.
Any piece that may have been missing last year that you've been able to find in the last 12 months?
Not really. I think, I had a great group of kids that Frank gave me from, the year before when I took them. It was a strong program. The thing that I was concerned about going in my first year was the buy-in from the players of a new coach and the system of play that I was trying to do with them. And luckily last year I had a great group that just bought into me really quickly and, understood that it took a lot of hard work and to grind the games out all the time to be successful. This year, I've had that extra year now where I could spend more time with the players, talk more about the style of play that I want to play and encourage them, like I said, that it's almost more mentally being prepared to play than it is everything else, the skill, the tactics, all that stuff. We've got to be mentally prepared to go out there and to do the work.
Now, Coach, you mentioned a few players that are going to be keys. Talk about how you have to replace. You're going to replace two senior captains in Luke Messick and Harry Conley from last year, and they talked about how much fun they had. Do you have a replacement for Luke in goal?
Actually, I do. Our backup keeper from last year was Will Winters, and he's been putting the work in and trying hard to fill those shoes because Luke was a good player for us. And this year I've got 3 goalkeepers on the team because I'm always looking to build for the next year and the year after that. So we're constantly looking at who's going to fill the next slot and make us better for the next year. Yeah, and Harry, Harry was a great player for us also, and I've got some really good kids, that were juniors last year that are now seniors that, will be able to come back. I've got Noah Price in the midfield this year, and he's a junior. I've got Calvin Duggar, Wesley Starlings that are playing well. And I also picked up a transfer this year, Pierce Carpenter. He came over from Hampton Christian, and he's a sophomore, and he's going to be a player. He's going to help this team out.
Yeah, you, Wube mentioned the fun that one of the players mentioned from last year. Now, I understand you've added a YouTube channel to help your team and maybe bring them together. What's going on with the Kecoughtan Soccer YouTube channel?
Yeah, I had one last year too. It was called 757 Soccer, but there was a bunch of 757 soccer things going on out there. What we do is we videotape all of our games so that the players can go home and watch them and see where they were making mistakes, what they needed to work on, how well they played. It was also used for recruitment tools for colleges if they needed, film to send to these colleges for them to watch and play. This year, I just switched it over to KHS Soccer TV, so it was more just based on us and our program and what we're doing at Kecoughtan.
Do your players enjoy having that ability to go home and watch maybe something they maybe messed up a little bit the game before?
Oh, they love it. I don't want to tattletale on them, but I post them in the mornings. And I can see all the hits during the day while they're in school when they probably shouldn't be watching them. But yeah, as soon as I post them, we're getting hits on them right away because the kids want to see what they did and what they need to work on.
Now, you guys play your games right there on Woodland Road?
Yep, we sure do, right at the high school.
And is this any particular days of the week so the fans can know when they can get out and see a Kecoughtan game?
Most of our games are Tuesdays. Well, it looks like, what are they? Tuesdays and Thursdays, it looks like. Some of them are Monday. We're pretty much spread up all over the place because we're picked up games with so many other we don't really have district anymore, but out of district teams, kind of like that. We picked up Jamestown this year to play so that, give us some, something to look at and something we need to work on.
And then now, looking around Southeastern Virginia, who's going to be your competition in that regional final this year?
There's a lot of good teams out there. I am probably the worst guy at recruiting scouting as teams. I'm a firm believer that we've got a system that we want to play and that we're going to work. And if we're successful at it, whoever we play, we're going to be successful against. So, I don't really go out and look at other teams, see how they're doing. I know, Hickory and Kempsville still have strong programs over there. Princess Anne has a strong program on the other side. But, I really don't pay much attention to the other schools and focused on our kids doing what we need to do right to be successful.
Outstanding. Now, we're talking to you today. I think you're relaxing down on the waterfront. Is that the case?
I sure am. I'm sitting out here at work today at Paradise Ocean Club. We've got a baby shower going on today, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on that.
Well, that's a great place to go and relax all year long at the Paradise Ocean Club. Scott and Baxter do a great job out there, and I know you get a few of these Peninsula athletes down there during the summer.
We get a lot of them. My motto, Frank, is that uncoachable, unemployable. So I go out, and if I find some kids that really work hard for me, that are good athletes that work, can show that they can do the work, I'll hire them in a heartbeat.
Well, if you bring Ryan back, then I know my wife will enjoy her Saturday mornings getting a nice Diet Coke and a nice umbrella down there and spending the mornings reading her book and having Ryan running back and forth for her.
Yeah, he's coming back again this year. He's excited about it. He's been one of the ones that's actually been with us here since we've opened. So, we're starting to dwindle on the guys and girls that have been here since we opened 5 years ago because, they're all moving on and getting older. But he's still coming back. He loves it here.
Well, very good. We'll get you. You and I gonna get down there.
I was gonna say, Coach, maybe we can do a show out there and kind of promote your business and have fun at the same time.
That sounds like a lot of fun. It'd be a good time.
We'll take one of those breaks when the DeLoreans take a break. We'll jump in there.
Yeah, actually, we've got the DeLoreans coming out April 29th for our sneak preview.
Outstanding. Well, we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to some good soccer out of the Kecoughtan boys team. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, Coach.
Thank you, guys, and let everyone know to come if they want to watch our games. Go on Kecoughtan or KHS Soccer TV
Very
on
good.
YouTube.
Thanks, Coach.
Head
Thank you. We
coach
appreciate
Scott
it.
Canaday, Kecoughtan High School. Thanks, Scott. All right, great to hear from the coach, Wube, and a lot going on over there on Woodland Road.
Yeah, he's got a lot of. He's really confident about some of the young kids he has coming up from losing a couple of players from last year, and look for them to be a powerhouse going forward in that Peninsula District and beyond.
Well, he's one of those guys that we talked about. It's fun to play for,
Right.
And so the boys he has on that team enjoy being there, and they're going to play harder for a coach that they enjoy being around. And Scott can teach them a lot.
And he, I read somewhere where the kids are put in a game situational things, so when they get to the game, they won't be confused, and they know what they're doing. And a lot of the captains are given the voice, so the kids will listen to them in practice. So when they go into games, they'll know what's going on. And he's making it fun for the kids over there at Kecoughtan as well.
So, folks, if you can get out late in the afternoon on Tuesday or Thursday and catch soccer on the peninsula, check out Scott Canaday's Kecoughtan Warriors down there on Woodland Road. Wube, you've got a young one playing soccer. She's at Bethel.
Yep, varsity had a scrimmage the other day in Williamsburg. Took it pretty rough. We have a few girls out right now, but we're gonna have Coach Midlick on, Steve Midlick from Bethel, in a couple weeks. He's gonna talk about his program. He said, why don't you guys wait until I have all my kids healthy before I talk about them? So we'll have him on in a couple weeks, and we'll have a pretty good year. I say we like I'm on the team, but I'm the team spokesperson, I guess. But they'll have a pretty good year, and we're looking forward to some tough games against Kecoughtan and Menchville. Warwick girls are good. Woodside and Gloucester, so we'll see what they can do. So they have some girls coming back, so we'll see how they do this year.
Well, soccer is a great sport to not only play, it's also a great sport to coach and to watch. So, and there's great soccer up and down the peninsula.
Absolutely.
So wherever you are this spring, try to catch a few games. Now we also are going to go into the baseball season, and that on at least the college levels already started. Baseball in high school around the corner, but we thought we would bring in a guest who is on that college level, a guy that I've worked with for a couple of years over the Peninsula Pilots, a very great baseball man in our area, and that's Coach Dave Mitchell.
Well, Coach Mitchell is coached on the high school level. He's played at CNU, still leads. He's still the all-time leader in stolen bases over there. He was a 3-year captain, had a great career. Now he's coaching in a local university around in the area.
Well, I know he's anxious to talk about his brand new program at Paul D. Camp Community College, so we'll welcome in Coach David Mitchell.
Guys, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Well, we're excited about the first year of baseball out there in Franklin. Tell the fans a little bit about what you got going on out at Paul D. Camp Community College.
Absolutely. So Paul D. Camp is a 2-year institution. We're a state school. So we're a member of the VCCS, which is the Virginia Community College System. So the VCCS has 4 schools in the state of Virginia that participate in junior college baseball. There's 2 D3 programs, which are Danville Community College and Thomas Nelson Community College, which you guys are familiar with over there with Mike Moore leading that program. And then the 2 Division II programs are Patrick Henry Community College out towards Martinsville, and now us, Paul D. Camp, out in Franklin.
Now, Coach, being the first ever coach at a program, how much pressure is that, Coach, just to get it started and, to get all the kids excited about, baseball over there at your school?
Absolutely. So quite a bit of pressure. I was hired June 15th. So if you think back to last June, most of the high school seniors that were playing baseball, as a 2017, a lot of those guys had already committed and signed to either a 4-year program or a 2-year program. So when I was hired, it was really late in the process. So we really had to hit the ground, running, so to speak. So between June 15th and July 15th, we signed and brought in about 35 players in that 1-month period. And we did all that with not having a tradition, to sell our recruits on. We didn't have a field. We weren't in a conference yet. So we really had our work cut out for us. So we really had to use relationships within the Peninsula and South Side communities to try to bring in these players within that short amount of time.
Now, Coach, you're a native of Suffolk, and you played ball with Alliance Christian, but then you came to the Peninsula to play some college ball.
Absolutely. I played 4 years. I was at Christopher Newport 95 through 98, and had a great career over there and met a lot of great friends and got an outstanding education over at CNU. And that's really where it all started for me. You know, I got to play with a lot of Peninsula greats over there. Played with Hank Morgan, of course, and Richie Clark from Kecoughtan, Jason Seeley, Aaron Smith from Warwick. I don't know if any of these names ring a bell with you guys, but
for sure.
got to play with a lot of great players over there on the Peninsula, and was coached by the great Buddy Denton for 2 years over there at CNU. So a lot of great relationships started over at Christopher Newport.
Now, you've continued, and fans here on the Peninsula would know you as from your participation with the Peninsula Pilots over the past few years.
Yeah, and that was just an outstanding opportunity, and to be able to go and reunite with Hank and Henry, and to be able to coach over there for 7 years, and just be around that great organization and great group of guys, and I was able to learn a tremendous amount to help me in my coaching career by just being around not only good coaches there, but also the great players from up and down the East Coast and all over the country that we brought in each year with the Pilots. So I was able to learn a lot to install into my coaching philosophies. I tell people all the time, I stole more than Ricky Henderson, just by learning from different folks, being around great coaches and great players and great programs, by just picking up on a few things to install into my coaching philosophy. So that time with the Pilots was special for me and my family, and we really enjoyed that time over there.
Well, during that time, and I'll toot your horn a little bit, you helped lead that squad to 2 Pettit Cup championships, which is back-to-back, in fact.
Correct. Yeah, we had back-to-back. For a few years there, we got to the championship game and couldn't get it done. So I think Hank was beginning to question some of us a little bit. We were giving each other a hard time. We could get there, but couldn't get it done. But we figure out a way there 2 years in a row, and they've had tremendous success for all the years they've been there. Every year they're battling for that Pettit Cup. So Hank and Henry do a great job over there.
Well, Coach, to go back to your college days, you joked, but you still hold the career record for stolen bases at CNU. So, and you were an All-American also at CNU. But I wanted to talk about, the difference, Coach. You went back to your alma mater of your high school and coach. What do you think will be the difference, coaching high school versus a college level team?
Definitely the number of games. This year we're playing over 40, and next year when we become a full Region 10 member, we move to 56 games. So we're playing anywhere from 5 to 6 games a week, which is triple your high school schedule. You look, most high schools are playing about 18 or 20 games a year. So you bump up to that 56, 60 game schedule. That's triple of what you're playing in high school in pretty much the same amount of time. So your workload's a lot different. I've actually enjoyed the recruiting process. I enjoy getting on the road and talking with recruits and going and watching them play. I enjoy that process. But definitely the number of games in the spring season and then the recruiting process is the main difference between, high school play and college play. Your summer's a little bit more relaxed. We do have a fall season. So this past fall, we had an 8-week fall season, which is basically about 5 days of practice installation and then 1 inter-squad a week. And then this past fall, we did play 8 games. We played a Division I opponent in Norfolk State. We played Division II opponent in Chowan. And then we played, of course, Apprentice School, Thomas Nelson, and some others also in the fall. So we had a very productive fall season to get prepared for this spring, and we'll continue that each year as we move forward.
So can we have a little rivalry fun with the Apprentice School and Thomas Nelson, since they're the closest schools? It'd be great to have some good battles with them.
Absolutely. And, we started the year off back February 7th. We had a 5-game and 5-day little tournament over at the apprentice school. It's called the Hampton Cup. And Coach Cave and Coach Moore and Alan Elledge, a few of us got together and thought it would be a really great idea to showcase some of the Peninsula and South Side area players and talent, other than what's going on at Old Dominion and Norfolk State and CNU. There's some other baseball going on as well with a lot of local talent. So we started that Hampton Cup this year. And in our first game, we played the apprentice school, and I believe it was a 7-6 game, very competitive. And then we went on a few days later and played Thomas Nelson and picked up our first win. But that was a great little tournament, to show the great talent that we do have here locally on the Peninsula and South Side. That's, not just playing at the Division I level or Division III, but, at this junior college level as well.
Coach, you pointed out the talent that's around this area. What have you found yourself telling rising juniors and seniors in high school about the benefits of coming to Paul D. Camp Community College, both academically and athletically? What do you tell them to get them out to Franklin for a couple of years?
Well, we feel we've got a really good program to offer, not just from an athletic and baseball standpoint, but from a tuition and an academic. So when you look at a junior college, especially a VCCS school, which we are, the tuition cost, one, is really, really low and really affordable. So it costs about $1,800 a semester to go to Paul D. Camp. So not quite $4,000 a year. So the tuition's really, really affordable. So that's a great point that, we point out to parents and to recruits. And then the second thing is all of our programs and credits are transferable because we're a state school. When you take your courses and your program of study, and when you get your certificate or associates from Paul D. Camp, those programs and credits are going to transfer to over 27 state Division I, II, or III institutions. So that's a fantastic selling point. You look at the low cost of tuition, and then you've got credits and programs that are going to transfer. That's a great opportunity for student athletes in our area that may not be able to afford to go to a 4-year school right away. Or from an athletic standpoint, who may not be there yet from a strength or, we look at a lot of one-tool players. So from the professional standpoint, they're looking at 4 or 5-tool guys. We feel if a guy's a 1 or 2-tool player, they still need to develop in some area athletically, then they can come to us for a very affordable tuition. They can take credits that are going to transfer, and then we can develop them athletically, add that additional tool to where in 1 or 2 years we can send them on to a Division I, II, or III school, in state, of course, first, or out of state if need be. And all those credits are going to transfer. So that's really where we promote our school, and that's our selling point to recruits and to parents.
Well, that's quite a pitch. Have you had good success here in the first, what have you been, 8 months, 9 months of getting some players from the Peninsula to come over to play at Paul D. Camp?
We have, currently on our roster this spring, we've got 3 players from Hampton High School that are getting a lot of playing time for us. Just yesterday, Ty Johnson from Hampton High School. We played a team, Camden, from New Jersey last night, and Ty threw 3 scoreless innings for us. So he's doing a tremendous job. Jordan McCray, he's catching for us. He's splitting time behind the plate, so he's caught about 50% of our games this spring. He's from Hampton High School as well. He's doing a tremendous job defensively for us. And TJ Hubbard, another Hampton High School infielder. TJ's getting a lot of playing time for us at third base. So, we were able to bring those 3 guys in immediately for this year. And then for next year, we already have one verbal commit who's going to be signing here soon. and Jake Malcolm from Hampton High School. I've used a pilot relationship in Ethan Carter over at Kecoughtan. We're looking at a few of their players. Then, of course, Chris Oxenfeld, who I coached with the pilots, always in communication with Coach Ox over there, and getting referrals from players on the peninsula that we're looking at. So we're heavily recruiting that area. And a great thing for us also is the players from the peninsula. We're just far enough away, about 45, 50 miles, where they can still get that college experience. So they can live in the apartments close to campus and still get that college experience of being away from home, going to school and being able to play college baseball. So that's another great selling point we have.
That's outstanding. It sounds like the distance I always refer to as the distance where your parents have to call first before they come by.
That's exactly right.
Well, Coach, it sounds like things are going well for you out there. How do young athletes here on the peninsula get a hold of you and make themselves known to you here in the early days of Paul D. Camp baseball?
Absolutely. If there's a current senior or a junior in high school over on the peninsula that is interested in continuing their career academically and baseball-wise at a two-year institution, they can visit our website, which is www.pdc.edu. And on our website, there's an athletic page where recruits can fill out a recruiting questionnaire. They can also contact me via email, which is D as in David Mitchell, MITCHELL at pdc.edu. And they can send me an email, of course. And we'll be on the peninsula quite a bit this spring, watching high school games, watching players who are currently committed to us, and of course potential prospects for coming next fall as well.
You got a Twitter feed, Coach?
We do. At Coach David Mitch, MITCH, so that's shortened. So at Coach David Mitch is my Twitter feed. You can follow me on Twitter. I post pictures. We're building a over $1 million complex facility on campus in Franklin. I'm always posting pictures of that and posting about our games and upcoming games. So you can follow me on Twitter as well.
Well, I don't know about Woo Bay, but I'm pretty excited about Paul D. Camp
sure.
baseball. That sounds great, Coach.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's always a pleasure, and you guys do a great job. I've listened to your podcast, and I enjoy it. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
Great, Coach. Well, we're going to get back with you in the fall. We'll follow up on your season, and, of course, we'll see you over the summer.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Coach David Mitchell.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Well, I really appreciate Coach Mitchell joining us this afternoon. He's got a very unique position to start a program at the college level, as you pointed out, can be frightening, but it can also be challenging in a good way. And it sounds like he's off to a great start.
Well, everything is new. Everything's a first. When you're the first ever coach, like he talked about the facility they're thinking about. Well, actually, they're in the process of building. Recruiting players, uniforms, everything is fresh. So hopefully he can bring his experience as a player and as a high school coach over to the program. And he's doing a great job of recruiting the peninsula. As he mentioned, 3 kids from Hampton High, another peninsula kids coming in. He has connections with the peninsula, with the coaches over here. And it's a very, very promising start for him over there.
Well, it is. And I think for student athletes and parents, I hope you're listening. If of course, boys mature much later than girls, and I think that's proven. And often athletically, they mature late. And so, if you have a young son that enjoys baseball and is doing well in school, but maybe needs that extra couple of years before they look for a Division I program, that's a great opportunity. Go play for a guy like Dave Mitchell, who's nothing but a spectacular record in coaching. Good teacher as well. I've watched him out at the Diamond out there at War Memorial Stadium with the Pilots. Great teacher, and it's like a 2-year camp out there.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun, at Paul D. Camp Community College, and to play for the Hurricanes and to go out there and study.
And on the academic side, all your credits will be transferred. And hopefully you'll stay in state. It'll be a lot easier to transfer. And they have not really on campus housing, but they have housing where he said it can feel like you're away from home. He said
Right.
45, 50 miles away. And like you said, enough where the parents have to call first, which is great for the kids. You know, to get away, play baseball, have that college experience. And again, everything is new, so a lot of these kids want to start something fresh and want to be a part of something that's new.
Well, I know part of our goal here is to be sure that opportunities that exist
Right.
are made known to parents and to student athletes here so they can continue both their education and playing sports on the next level. Well, you know, you started the spring season, Wubei. What's got you excited about coming up?
Well, the spring high school season is started. I think most of the games start on Tuesday or Wednesday. I know Bethel girls, the first game is Wednesday. So, you know, we're starting with outdoor track, baseball, softball, soccer, of course, is starting. So it's a great time of year. Just ended, like you said earlier in the show, just ended our winter sports with state championships in Richmond. So let's get the spring sports rolling.
Yeah, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. It's been
Yeah.
a little miserable the last week or so, but we'll get some sunshine and get everybody out on the pitch in the diamond.
Yeah, we had snow up north, 10 inches up in New York and Jersey and upstate New York where Randy Begoli's from. I know he's happy to be down here.
Let me tell you, sitting at a horse show yesterday morning where there were reports for snow flurries in Williamsburg yesterday. In Smithfield, we just had the cold.
Yeah, it was very cold.
Good. I tell you, I keep the folks posted on a sport that not many people see, and that's riding of horses. My daughter's involved in that over at Fox Ridge Farm in Smithfield. We were at Foxtail Farm yesterday in northern Smithfield up at Mogert's Bay, and had a nice show up there. But a lot of Peninsula athletes playing. Kellen Sullivan at Bethel High School, whose sister we point out on our broadcast is a varsity cheerleader, second-year varsity cheerleader at Bethel. Cameron Sullivan, her brother's quite the horseback rider, or horseman, and did a nice job yesterday on his new mount. And then Leanne Richardson has a new horse. Hannah Gray Edgar has a new horse to compete on this year.
Holiday, right? Still the name?
Holiday, yeah. Oh, Holiday. I've got 100 pictures of Holiday already and a couple of bills to go with him.
I'm sure.
But it's a sport that the community would certainly welcome people to go out and see what this is all about. On April 7th, they're going to be at the 4-H Center over in Windsor on 460. A very nice riding facility over there in that 4-H facility. It's a conference center. It's a beautiful area out there. But if you're interested in learning a little bit about horseback riding and competing and showing, I guess is the technical term, come on out and just come to see me, and I'll introduce you around. And you can. It's a difficult sport because very few of us know anything about it.
Right. Well, I mean, growing up in Baltimore, we used to go to the Preakness all the time, so I know a little bit about horse racing. I mean, horse riding and horse racing. But not that much familiar with it, so I'm definitely going to use you as a tour guide when I go out there and see Hannah Gray ride.
Yeah, very good. And, of course, we want to get out and see the soccer at Bethel High School because your daughter will get upset if we don't.
Yeah, we definitely have to come out. I'm going to make it a point to go to all the games if my work schedule allows me, but I'm going to definitely hit all those games, and I'm really, really proud of her to be on that varsity team this year.
And I want to, of course, send out an invitation to the coaches, especially up in some of our far reaches. Let's get the coaches, if you would like to get on here and talk about your program, up in New Kent and Bruton and Jamestown and up that way, and then even Smithfield and Surrey. We'd love to hear from you. Contact us during the week on Twitter at PennSportsPod, at Gmail, which is PennSportsPodcast@gmail.com. Just, drop us a note and we'll get you on board. I want to thank our producer, of course, Randy Begoli. He's doing a great job putting our shows together, and appreciate our sponsor, Goldstein, Edgar, and Regan, giving us the studio hours on this afternoon. Wubei, anything?
Just go support local athletics, Frank. That's what it's all about. We're here to help promote some of the sports and the coaches and what they're doing in the community, what inspires them, why we bring them on so they can promote them, and what motivates them, and let's just support these kids and support these coaches. They're doing a great job out there in the community.
Well, thanks to Scott Canaday and to Dave Mitchell for joining us today. Get out and see their programs. Get down to the Ocean Club. Feel free to take us with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's it for Penn Sports Podcast this week. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening.